So Tara brought up a very good point. For those of us who are course creators and content creators at the same time, like we might blog, we might make videos, we might do Instagram or whatever we're doing, free content. And at the same time, we're also trying to create and launch courses. And Tara said, yeah, it's kind of exhausting, especially if we're trying to do an intense rhythm of course launches, like you, George, launch a new course every month, which I have done for now 4 years. I've launched a course every month. Starting next year, I'm launching a course every 2 months. I'm so lazy. I'm making a joke. That's still pretty intense. But next year, I'm only launching a course every 2 months. But if you are launching a course every month and creating a course, launching a course every month, and you're doing content, it is definitely a huge importance to manage your time and energy and boundaries. It's a huge challenge and a huge opportunity to practice that, right? Because it's the creating brain, and how intensely, and you're doing it on two different topics possibly. You have to shift. So this is where, that's why you have to say, when is my content creation time, and when is my course creation time? And I have to keep very careful boundaries on how much I might be over preparing. If I'm telling myself I'm only going to spend 3 hours to prepare for each course hour, 3 to 6 or whatever your boundary is, you must be able to fit that into your calendar next year or somewhere alongside your content creation time, right? And you must keep that boundary to say, no, I'm done with 6 hours of preparing or 3 hours of preparing. That's what they're going to get. Or of course, if let's say you're giving yourself 3 hours to prepare for each hour. So just FYI, I give myself 6 to 9 hours for the first module. Because why so long? 6 to 9 hours of preparation time for the first module. Why so long? It's because for the first module, I'm also kind of preparing the outline for the rest of the course. So I know where the first module really fits in. That's why I get, and then for each subsequent module, I only give myself 3 hours of preparation time. So I have to be very careful. For the first hour, I'm going to get a basic outline of that module. I have to force myself really to say, I've got 1 hour to give myself the basic outline of the module. And the second hour is the intensive, like, here's the content. And then the third hour is to polish and get it ready to present. That's it, 3 hours. And I have to keep within that time, because I think in terms of versions. I always iterate in my mind to say, this course doesn't have to be perfect. Of course not. There is no such thing as perfect, except every moment is really perfect. If I want to be spiritual about it, every moment is perfect. Each time I teach it is perfect in the way that my life has led me up to this point. And that's all that's all the time, the preparation time I have is my life has led me up to this point, and I'm teaching it to you right now. So, so we have to set boundaries, and we have to set boundaries with ourselves to say, no, I'm not going to keep working on this, after dinner. I'm not going to keep working on this, when I should be sleeping, anyway. So that's hard. It's hard to set boundaries though, because we're so afraid of letting people down, and we're afraid of letting ourselves down. So as you practice setting boundaries with yourself on how much you're preparing for the course or for each piece of content, right? How much time are you giving yourself to write a blog post or to prepare for a video? Shouldn't be that much time. So once we've practiced setting boundaries, then we could look at our calendar, breathe a sigh of relief. Yeah, okay, if this week I'm going to put a new piece of content and a new course module, assuming it's the second module or later, then if I'm going to give myself 2 hours to prepare a new piece of content and 3 hours to prepare one module hour, then I have 5 hours of creative time this week. 5 hours is doable, isn't it, Tara? Of course it is. It's only when you don't give yourself boundaries, then the 5 hours becomes 15 hours. Then of course it's no longer sustainable, because you have clients to deal with. You have family that you take care of, or you have yourself to take care of. So that's the key. That's how I've been able to launch a new course a month for so many years, or at least two of those 4 years, I was launching a new course every month. And then I started repeating some courses. Anyway, so that's how I was to have the stamina, is practicing the boundaries with oneself, which again is it's a very much emotional, mental issue of not being afraid to let people down. This is the biggest part, people pleasing. That's what so many of us are dealing with. Perfectionism and people pleasing. It's like, no, I don't care if you don't like what I did in 3 hours, that's what you're going to get. Like I challenge you, I dare you to say that to the student in your mind who is judging you and go, that wasn't good enough. First of all, no one's like that. Like all of our students are very caring and kind and accepting. It's only that the troll in our mind is made up. It's an illusion that we made up. Go, you have to prepare more. Who said that? So I like say to that troll in my mind, screw you. I'm only giving myself 3 hours. This is what you're gonna. You paid. I don't care. You paid for this. This is what you're gonna get. You don't like it, I'm gonna give you your money back. No big deal. You see what I mean? Like I'm talking to my troll in my mind, which is an illusion. Nobody does that, right? So, but Tara, let me know if this is helpful. If you want to say anything.
No, it's good. Honestly, for me, I think it's more like I probably created the 6th iteration as you described it, not the first. I sort of went through it. I'm like, oh, tweak this. Wait, no, this could be tighter. Oh no, wait a second. I'm going to say it like this.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Like, ooh, this is going to make so much more sense. Oh, and then I'll wake up at 4 a.m. with a graph in my head and I'll be like, I got to go create that. Like, that's going to make so much sense. And it's going to so my mind doesn't stop.
Every course I create, I always have ideas for the later version of that module that I'll do in 4 years. Immediately after I teach it, after or even during my prep, I'm like, oh crap, I see a graphic coming up, or I see a chart coming, or I see a template that I should have created coming up, but I only have half hour left to create this module.
Okay.
So good luck. That template, that graphic, that chart, that whole body of work, it's going to have to wait for the next version of this course. Right now, what I've got is good enough. And that's the truth, by the way, Tara. What you've got now is definitely good enough. Definitely.
Okay.
And by the way, if you continue to perseverate on any module, just like me, if I continue to look at something, of course, I'm going to have more ideas, because that's who we are. We're creative beings, and we are thinking so much more advanced on our topic than our students are. So it's like even our first version of our thinking about the topic is already further along than our student, and they're already grateful for that first version.
Sure. Yeah. That's helpful. Thank you. And then
okay, let's
go
ahead.
No, that's okay. I mean, I would appreciate any ideas around. I understand getting the audience up around signups and that sort of thing. And today I was even going to just do just some one-to-one invites.
Sure. Yeah, that's always
if I'm not busy
helpful.
creating my 11th and 12th version of my presentation. No, just kidding. I got stuff to do.